I am so excited. If it looks like I'm nervous or I'm shaking, it's because I am. I am such a big fan. We have Andrew Levitt with us, also known as Nina West, and you're currently starring in the touring production of Hairspray as Edna Turnblad. So thank you so much for coming in today and being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to meet you and be here. So
I'm
thanks.
so excited. First of all, to see the show. I've never seen it live.
Get ready. Hairspray is pure joy. You're gonna come to the auditorium. You're gonna sit in that audience. You're gonna watch the show. And you're gonna jump out of your seat by the end. You're gonna love it. It's great.
I've seen the movie, love the film, love the songs, but from what I heard, seeing it live is just an experience.
There's nothing. Well, first of all, there's nothing like live theater, especially after the last 2 years that we've been through. 3 years with COVID, right? So to come back and sit in an audience with people and experience this live together in a communal environment. You know, there's some weird, like, crazy thing that I heard where, you know, an audience, like, everyone's heart rate settles in at the same while they're watching a show. And that's powerful and that's cool. And this show in and of itself is packaged with joy and love and excitement. And also, I don't know if the stat that I said is actually true, but isn't it nice and romantic and poetic?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's so lovely. And Hairspray is really all about embracing our differences, embracing change. And I feel like the films and the show, as long as it's been running, we've always said, like, this show is so important right now for us. And it seems like we are making advances, and then we kind of go backwards, and then Hairspray just always seems relevant for the time that we're in, for people to watch and just feel the message of the show.
Yeah, I mean, John Waters, who's the brilliant mind behind the original film, I think is really ahead of his time in telling stories that resonate with people, right? The musical itself, it's got a brilliant book and an amazing score that I think help amplify this story. But yeah, you're right. We are yet again in a very strange place in history where we find ourselves needing to talk about stories of diversity and identity and otherness. And Hairspray seems to always be there at the forefront of that. And it's really important that shows like this and shows that aren't like this, you know, shows that exist like A Strange Loop and shows that tell, you know, a variety of our stories and our voices are heard, and especially now.
And I know that you are a fan of theater, but your background, you went to school for theater.
Yeah, Jill. I'm
telling you.
Jill, you're like ready.
I'm so ready. I've been so excited for this day.
Yeah, I did.
Did you ever imagine that one day you would be a part of a show like this on this scale?
Never, because I think that I thought, because of my otherness, because of my queer identity, I think I was told that I didn't necessarily belong. And so I'd seen other people do it, and I just didn't see it as an opportunity for me or as an option for me. And I think that there were a lot of people along the way who held my hand or who pushed me up and let me stand on their shoulders to get here. You know, like I started when I wanted to pursue theater, and I wanted to after I graduated college, but 9/11 happened. So that felt like that one door shut, and I made a conscious decision not to move to New York City. And then I pursued drag. I found drag that way. And so doors opened for me in really strange and bizarre ways. And I was embraced by a drag community, a family of drag queens. My drag mother, Virginia West, who's brilliant and probably saved me at a time period when I didn't know how much I needed to be saved. And then that led to, you know, an 18-year career that put me right on Drag Race 18 years later. And then Drag Race and RuPaul and everyone at World of Wonder opened these doors for me to be seen by the world. And Jerry Mitchell, who was the original choreographer for Hairspray, saw me on Drag Race and said, "Oh my gosh, we think we're going to be reviving Hairspray. We think you should do it." And that's how I got here. A variety of people allowing me, queer people, mind you, LGBTQI plus, everyone I just said is queer, gave me this chance and gave me space and allowed me to tell my own story.
And now people can look to you as an inspiration.
Thanks.
And to be that for them. What was it like transforming into Edna for the first time?
We did, oh my gosh, let me tell you, we did a press event in Times Square, and they brought my finale dress in, And so I was getting ready at the Time, which is in Times Square, this gorgeous hotel.
I've been there.
It's fabulous.
Beautiful
It's fierce.
hotel, yes.
And I'm getting ready in this suite, and there's makeup artists, and they bring me my wig, and I wasn't paying attention, and they held up a mirror, and I was like, because Edna's so different than Nina. Like, I'm not playing Nina West as Edna Turnblad. I'm, playing Tracy's mom, Edna, and it's not a drag character. I happen to be a man playing the role. And it was transformative for me to be like, oh my gosh, what is this? But that's the power of theater, and that's the power of, like, falling into character. I had all these ideas of what I wanted my Edna to be like. And that was a lot of pressure, right? You've got Divine, who did the movie. You've got Harvey Fierstein, who originated the role on Broadway, who was epic and legendary. You have a lot of iterations between Bruce Valanche, Michael McKean, Paul Vogt, then the second film with John Travolta.
Yes.
And so there's all of these things to kind of influence me, but I really wanted to make the decision that my Edna was going to be intrinsically me. And so it was really impactful and powerful and magnificent to see her that first time. The first time was like, I literally was gobsmacked. I had no words.
And Edna has this transformation throughout the show and finding her confidence. So what would you say to someone who is looking for that boost, looking for that confidence in life, maybe not feeling so sure about themselves and where they are in life? What would you say to them to help?
Yeah, I mean, what really resonated with me with Edna, and still does every night, and why it doesn't ever get tired for me, is that there's something that really rings true for my own story, which is Edna really needs someone to believe in her, and needs someone to hold her hand and guide her. And that's her daughter, Tracy, right? Tracy's the one who's pulling her out of the house and telling her she's going to be okay. And she's then supported by this incredible husband, Wilbur, who are helping her navigate this new world because she's been a shut-in for 20 years. And I think that resonates with me, and the story that I told you as I sit here and think about it is I think for anyone who's not feeling like they belong, you got to find your people. You got to surround yourself with people who believe in you, who love you, who want to lift you up and show who want to show you support and love. And you have to be open to that and willing to receive that and accept that. And I think if you're feeling isolated and alone, that's the first step, is asking for help, asking for someone to listen to you, asking for, someone to come into your life and lift you up. And we don't all have access to that. Right. And that's, especially for queer people, LGBTQIA plus people, we just don't all have access to that. Because it's scary to voice who we are to people. Especially in a world like today where the climate is super scary and you don't necessarily see people who look like you or find the support. So I think the main thing is to really look outward and to try to find people who can envelop you and embrace you and lift you up. What
drew me to you in the beginning was that you have this light about you. And I love how your message has always been kindness and joy. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. But I'm so thankful that who you are in person, like meeting you today for the very first time, that is you. It's not a show, it's like you are genuine. You are so full of joy. You are such a light. And I'm so thankful that we have you in this world, because we need kindness right now.
I think back to when I was trying to figure out my own life, and I didn't have people to tell me I was going to be okay. And my own story, I think, has led me to this point where I never, after going through what I've gone through in my life, which is, comparably is not difficult, but in my own story, it's been challenging and troubling for me to see someone like me. And I just really didn't want anyone to feel alone. And it wasn't ever, I never intended, although I always wanted something like this life, my intention was I would have been completely happy in Columbus, Ohio, doing what I was doing, reaching out to my community in the way that I was. And I'm grateful for the opportunities that have been given to me to only, I think, continue to tell a story that I think is really important. And I didn't know how relevant it would be today, right?
Right.
So thanks for seeing me.
My gosh. Well,
thanks for seeing me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I want to talk about Disney.
Yo, I'm obsessed.
I'm a huge Disney fan.
Okay, what's your favorite movie?
Oh, Mary Poppins.
That's my favorite favorite.
Stop.
No, you're not allowed to say that. Are you serious?
No. Feed the
It's
Birds.
my favorite movie. It's Walt Disney's favorite song.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Mary Poppins is my very favorite. That was another opportunity, like, not to relate it back to my story, but
Please.
it was another opportunity where I saw anything was possible. When she opened that bag and she was pulling out all of these things, and she, like, it was, to me as a kid, it was like, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And that is why I think it's why it's my favorite. It has literally stuck with me since I was a kid. I love that movie. Okay, what were we going to ask? Sorry, now I'm sorry.
I love this. I love this. I was going to ask you what your favorite Disney song is.
I mean, Feed the Birds is right up there.
It's my favorite.
I'm a really big Ashman Menken kid.
Okay, yeah.
When I was growing up, I'm 40, and Little Mermaid had come out when I was a kid, I think, and then Beauty and the Beast came out when I was around 12, and that was really so transformative for me. Just as like a theater kid, as someone who was drawn to music and to the theatrical. I think, I mean, so Ashman. If I would say Ashman and Menken, I would say probably like. I love Beauty and the Beast. I love Belle because it tells the song Beauty and the Beast, and then the story of Belle in the song. You know, here's this girl who just doesn't fit in. You know, and she's bookish and she's kind of a nerd, and no one sees her. They only see her for what she, for being a girl and what a woman should be. And I just related to that a lot.
The reason I bring it up is because I went to my first D23 Expo last year, and I got into the Masquerade, and I was like, what is this? I don't know anything about this.
The best.
I sat down.
You were there?
I was blown away by your opening.
Thanks.
I can't even describe what this was like, but you transformed into these different dresses in different songs, song after song, and when I thought, oh, yeah, it's got to be over now. Another song came out. You were grabbing people from the audience with the Hercules song. It was incredible.
Well, listen.
Oh my gosh.
Drag. It's like the marriage of drag and Disney. I mean, I hope they see this, but it really is powerful because the storytelling of Disney and the storytelling of drag are very, very similar, right? And we see these stories of like people, princesses often, or their main character, their protagonist, just wants to fit in and belong and be seen in the world and find their place. And drag is representing that for LGBTQIA plus people. And that's why so many queer people love Disney, is because they feel seen, they feel heard, and they feel like they're being celebrated, even though it might be Moana or it might be Ariel.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like whoever it is trying to find where they fit, right? Part of your world is like this queer. That is probably maybe my favorite, because it's like, to a queer person, it's like, I want to feel like I'm part of it. And I want to also be celebrated for who I am.
Hairspray is now currently playing in Costa Mesa at the Segerstrom.
It is.
And then it's coming to the Dolby on May 2nd.
The iconic, legendary Dolby.
I know. You can get your tickets at BroadwayandHollywood.com, and also check out hairspraytour.com, right?
Yeah,
for
that's
tickets?
it. Yeah, that's all your ticketing. Come see us.
You have to see the show.
Hairspray.